Let's have an honest conversation about where sealed product investing is going. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help support me in my endeavors as I try to get closer to 10,000 subscribers one day. Gotta have goals, right? So we're talking about sealed product investing today. I didn't do tons of spreadsheets or fancy little graphs, just having a conversation about some of the stuff I've noticed lately. And that is, a lot of the sales are slowing down. I gotta be honest. A lot of the products that I have currently on my back shelf here, the sales have just dwindled. There's a lot of product for sale, but there's just not a lot of demand for the product at those price points. When I look at Khans of Tarkir, Battle for Zendikar, they're slower than I would have expected them to be at this age in their life cycle. Remember, they're all out of print sets. Things like Khans have got fetch lands. When you take a look at Battle for Zendikar, you have the possibility of getting the very first kind of like, treasure land type things. It's just interesting to see. And there are some sales, like every month or so a box may sell on a secondary site, but I'm just not seeing a large quantity. And that's a supply-demand issue. So we have lots of supply, because a lot of us, like myself, are holding on to those products. I have them sitting here. I'm sure a lot of you guys have a couple of boxes, 3, 4, a case or two. There's more than just me out there carrying these products. And if we are carrying it, and there is no demand to buy it, eventually that could lead to an issue. We could have people trying to liquidate and have a race to the bottom to see who will go lower to undercut other people to get that sale. And that kind of freaks me out because I was expecting a certain return. And there are no guarantees, right? It's Magic the Gathering. It's a card game. This could go to zero. Of course it can. But you're still hoping for a return at some point on the investment you've made. It's not like stores are sitting on a bunch of this stuff either. It's mostly players at this point who have managed to accumulate these kind of cards. So I look at it and say, do I have to wait longer? Instead of 7 to 9 years, am I looking 12 to 15? I have the rule of double, and I don't want to be undercut if I ever decide to sell something. But if there's no demand for that product, you could be in for some trouble is all I'm saying. So I started looking, I started thinking about other products I have. Singles seem to be doing very well in the Magic market. All the singles we have out there is not the problem. But when you look at sealed, you got to store it, you got to keep it dry, climate controlled. You don't want things getting wrecked, you don't want the boxes getting dinged. Some people are very particular about how they get their products. They're also harder to transport. A single, you put in a sleeve, some styrofoam padding and stuff, you're good. When you're shipping a box of Khans of Tarkir, you got to double reinforce the thing. You got all those little extra costs on top of that you have to factor in. Do you really want to sell it any cheaper than you have to? Of course not. You got to make a little bit of cash. That's the whole point. You're hoping to make some money out of it. I look here, we've got Gatecrasher, Guilds of Ravnica. Some of these are doing okay. But the sales on anything around that $250 US to like the $500 US have really come to like a halt. Unless you're taking or willing to take a massive pay cut, a big haircut on how much you're willing to take off the price to make it sell. But I haven't seen anybody do that yet. And if I am not witnessing it, I can't really evaluate how it's going. I know my stores out there don't seem to have any of these products. But again, if the demand's not there, the store's not going to want to buy it either. And then it gets your mind kind of thinking, how much is really out there? How much is sitting on some back shelf collecting dust? I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need one, go find one. This is purely for entertainment purposes. But these are things I think about. Late, dark in the night, sitting in bed with some nachos and cheese, a couple jalapenos on the side, and I think about this. I think about how am I going to move these boxes eventually if there's no demand. I only wanted to keep 1 or 2 for myself, for future openings with friends and stuff, things for the channel. But all those extra boxes, all that stuff back there, I mean, you didn't think I was going to keep it forever. At some point, you have to sell some of it to make some money. I mean, some of the really old ones, even they've slowed down. So where is this all going to leave? Are we coming to the point where inflation is starting to take effect and people are like, I just don't want to spend money right now? Because it's only been happening around since January. So if you see that slowdown, we're worried about inflation. The world's kind of in a topsy-turvy place as well. And a lot of people could just be saying, you know what? I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to keep the powder dry and not spend anything. So in that case, you just got to hold your product longer. You got to hold out as long as you can. You got to beat out everybody else to try to get the profit margin you're hoping to get on a sealed product investment. Because you're going through a lot of work. You're making sure things are well taken care of, as it were. Making sure you don't get robbed. Making sure things don't get broken. Making sure your kids don't tear into the boxes. Crazy stuff out there. So as I look at individual boxes, let's say cons, and it's $299 Canadian to buy a box. US is not far off, by the way. And you sit there and you go, okay, I paid $99 for that box. I'm looking at around $35 in shipping, because you got to track it, make sure it's getting there. Another $10 in materials, make sure it's well taped and padded up. So, okay, you're going to have to take a bit of a haircut, right? You know, give or take a little bit, and you could probably sell it for $220, $230 if you're willing to take that pay cut and still get the rule of double. But you've already invested. I mean, that's a, what, 2014 card set there? You've already put 7 years in. You're kind of thinking, wow, I was hoping it would go higher than that. We haven't seen a reprint of those fetch lands yet. At least not in a standard set, that's for sure. It's never coming back. I mean, it's interesting, right? Huh. One of those things you just got to keep your eye on. And other sets have different desirable cards within them. But again, somebody can just buy the singles. What's going to make them want to go after is for the draft experience, right? Got to get some friends together. But even then, people aren't really together right now. We're not hanging out at our local LGSs doing that. So I wonder if things open up and we get back to that regular kind of hangout kind of thing where all of our friends sit around on a Friday night, we get to crack some packs. Are we going to see more people buying boxes to draft and have fun with at their stores or have fun at a friend's place after we can all get back together? Or is inflation going to keep those numbers minimal? And then if we have rising interest rates and people start getting messed up in their personal lives, are we going to have a fire sale of people's collections just so they can make ends meet? I'm not trying to be like depressed and all that and say, oh, it's going to be horrible. I don't think it will, but there will be a few people who can't hang on. There'll be a few people who are affected by this. And that's horrible to think about because you want everyone to be okay out there. Right? I want everyone to be okay. If I could have my way, we'd all be good. But I don't get to control that, either do you out there. So you watch it happen. And of course, I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't buy a box at a discount, right? Because I'm still financially pretty secure. I'm a very cautious person by nature. And I slowed down buying boxes. You guys know that. I bought like 1 box of Kamigawa. I bought 1 box of Midnight Hunt and Innistrad Crimson Vow. Just 1 of each. 1 box of Double Feature. 1 of each. But Streets of New Capenna, I wanted to buy a couple. There's some patrons who want to do some box openings. I want to get a collector box for myself because I love those triumphs. I feel that need to rip into some cardboard. But I'll be keeping an eye on it because the sealed product I'm investing in, the stuff I'm holding on, I'm hoping will help carry me forward 10, 15 years from now. And that's a long way out. Nobody can predict the future. Who knows? But I'm looking at it saying it's a possibility that I'm going to have to wait a lot longer to get the profit out of those cards. So it will affect my purchases going forward if I feel unsure about being able to sell into the secondary market, then maybe I am just going to buy a box or two. Just the one that I want to open because I like to have that crackability, and then one to hold on to for a future day like I do for some of the background stuff now. But before that, when I was confident, I was buying like cases of stuff at a time. This is just a little bit you guys see, right? I got another whole room with stuff in it. So it's one of those things I just, I'm keeping my powder dry myself a little bit, but I can't help myself. I love this game too much not to buy anything. I wonder how you guys feel out there. Have you noticed that? Have you taken a look? Or are you just letting it sit there in the dark, let some fungus and dust grow on it, and you're going to check it 10, 15 years from now and say, hey, I got lucky. This box is like $1,000 now. Or are you going to look 10, 15 years from now and go, oh, I'm lucky I only paid $130 for this because it's only worth $200 now. Interesting times. That whole FOMO and don't believe the hype. At the same time, be smart. Keep an eye on things. I'm a little more pragmatic that way. So anyway, Thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you had a good time just chilling with me. If you got any questions, go ahead, slam those down in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer your questions the best I can when I actually start going through it all. And let's just stay safe out there and have a good time. I mean, it's Magic. It's a great game. And I mean, here in Canada, things start opening up next week. No masks. I plan on doing a lot more time at my card shop. So everyone just have an awesome day today. Play some Magic, kick back, maybe some nachos and cheese with a little bit of shredded bacon on top, right? Some jalapenos on the side, a little extra cheese sauce. Sounds good to me. Maybe some salsa and guac too. I'm going to go all out. Have a great day today, everyone. Of course, a big thank you to all the patrons on the channel. Thanks again, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you guys Sundays on the live stream. Have a kickin' weekend. We'll see you guys soon. Stay safe out there, everyone. Here we are at the end of the video, guys. We're going to provoke the trolls. Provoke the trolls into the 10K box because it made it all the way. All right? Boom, that guy's going in there. Looking forward to seeing everyone on the live stream this weekend. Let's kick it back and have a good time. Enjoy some pizza because I can't have it. You have some pizza. Let me know how it went in the comments section. Pizza in the comments section. Have a great one, everyone. Pizza.